Hey mates, it's me again, Angel, and we're back with another build. But before we get into it, can I just say thank you for getting me past 100? That was insane. I said in my last video, like, we're almost at 100, and now we're at 133, and it's like 3 days, 4 days later? That was crazy. So thanks everyone for joining. I hope you enjoy the builds and my channel and yada yada. So this build is pretty cool in my opinion. I do quite like it. It's kind of like a workshop slash just like a nice big house. And so we'll start off. I'll show you the downstairs. This is just like where you'll put your workbench, your forge. You could have some storage down here as well. And then there's another little room here. Here's some table and chairs floating because physics. And this is kind of like a brewery or a winery, something like that. You could also use this as a storage room. You don't have to put these in here, obviously. Nice little room. And then we're going to come upstairs. Ooh, upgrade. We're going to come upstairs. And this goes into sort of like the main front room sort of area. Slash bedroom, I guess. It's just one big room. You can make this how you want, obviously. I just left it open. Did some minimal designs. Got some what do you call them, you know, rugs on the floor, make it look kind of snazzy. Now with this hearth, having smoke up here, you're not going to suffocate. It doesn't fill up the whole, like this whole area. It just lingers up there and it will make its way out of that exit there and out of a couple little exits on the sides. But you can make a chimney if you don't want this to be lingering around just like that. So yeah, it's one big room, really cool big area. Some storage. You got your windows, which is just, you know, your doors. Yeah, there's pretty much the whole build. It's really cool. I do quite like it, as I said just before. I'm using the first person mod, by the way. Gives it a nice little look. But we'll take a little run around so you can see what it looks like from the outside. Very nice. It's kind of more medieval, I think. I don't think Vikings back then sort of had stone like this to spare. I think that was more medieval, but you know, correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial on how to build this beast of a house. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first part is the floor, as usual. We're getting these stone tiles. Just place a few of these. Get these stone walls so they connect up, lined up with the tile. Very important. And then just follow that down, just like I do here. Add another wall, and a few more tiles going across this way. So a lot of this I probably don't even need to talk or explain, because it's pretty straightforward. But, you know, a little explaining never hurts. Now we're just building those big walls up, another layer. And then we're going to be filling in the back afterwards. So with the back extended out, one more tile, and then you can place your big wall on either side, doesn't matter, and then sort of merge another one into it, and then get your straight stone pillars and line those up in the gaps, and then with that 1x2 and just fill it in nicely, fill in all the gaps in here. Next thing we're doing is sort of outlining the doorway and also the corners of the building with these wooden beam looking things. These wooden beams, just to give it some contrast in the color and give it that rustic look to it. I mean, this build is more medieval than Viking, I would say, personally. Just because of the stone at the bottom and the wood going up on the top. It makes it... That was more of a medieval style, I believe. But I don't really know much history about Vikings and medieval era, so it'll be good to know if any of you want to comment down if this looks medieval or if this looks like a Viking kind of building. But yeah, as we see, we're putting these beams across the top, outlining it, and then next is just a pattern that I decided to make. We sped it up because it was quite tedious. A lot of the things in this video are going to be sped up because of just the time that it took, and it's much easier to follow if it's just sped up. So yeah, just a couple crosses along the sides makes it look nice. The next thing we're doing is the staircase that goes to the second floor, and now I ended up placing these big stones, but they were a bit too big, so I destroyed them and started placing these little ones. I wanted it to curve around so it looked quite funky instead of just straight. That wouldn't have looked very cool. So just follow what I'm doing here. You can slow it down or just pause the video or just look at it, really. Just look at it and see what I do. The next thing here is doing another outline around the staircase. Place the door in there and throw down a bunch of beams across the sides of the staircase. So here is where I thought it was too big. I destroyed the stone that was here, just those 2x2s, and then we're going to place more of the 2x2s, but going sideways just makes it look a little less chunky. That means you have to destroy these beams that we just placed. I know, sometimes I do this in my builds where I build something and then end up destroying it, but that's really because I'm freestyling these builds. I haven't planned ahead. Let me know if that's something you want to see, where I actually plan ahead, so it's not as confusing to follow. But this is mainly all for inspiration. My videos are just all for inspiration. You know, you look at it, you think, hey, that's a cool idea. I'm going to add that in my world. And that's sort of what I want to do. We just destroy these beams in the doorway. Don't need those ever since we changed up how that looked. And then on the floor, place those little beams that in those gaps there. And the next part, we're going to be making this the first floor. This is where your workbench and the forge or whatnot, you can put whatever you want there, but this is where that's going to be. So sort of pull these out about 5. We end up destroying one of the layers and making it 4. So you can keep it as 4 and just leave it like that, because you'll see later in this video how I destroy the wall and put something else there. So that wall that's on the right now, just ignore that. We're going to come back to that later. It'll be much easier to follow if you don't build that bit. So next we're placing these walls, these floors. We're placing the floors, making the floor. Those stones that pop through the floor there, don't worry about that because we're actually going to cover that up with rugs anyway, so you're not going to see those little stones that are sneaking their way through the floorboards. And then here, once again, just picking up the pace in the video. It's pretty straightforward, that's why I didn't want to make this bit really long, it would have been boring. But just place these walls going all the way around, and then a little half wall on top of the door there. Looks real nice. And this part here, we're placing the beams on the corners again, just like this. So now we get to the second floor, how it overhangs that bit. This was kind of confusing my brain on how to actually do this and make it look good. So I was testing a bunch of different things. I first placed those floors, and then I placed these stairs above, and that just didn't look right because I wanted it to sort of step up. So just destroy those if you place them, if not. And then we're placing floorboards going across that way. Again, this stone wall is going to be broken soon, so don't worry about that stone wall that's poking up there. You'll see in a minute. We're placing these 26-degree roofs over the top. It makes it look like a solid surface instead of just stairs poking up. So yeah, these floorboards go across just like that, and then we're destroying that wall. You didn't need to build it. And then on the 4th tile, now we're building the wall. So that's where you want to build your wall, not where I built it just before. Hopefully that's not confusing. Then after you've built these up too, get those 1x2 bricks and place them underneath to connect it to the floor up there. Next part is a whole lot of outlining. Just placing the beams going around just like this. I won't explain it too much. Just have a look and see. Again, back with the patterns. So we're speeding this up. But it's better than just a plain stone wall, you know. Plain stone wall doesn't look that cool. A nice little pattern going through it is quite fancy. I had to break the floor there so I can actually place that. And then wooden beams going across the top. Cool, now that that's done, we're placing these stairs on the bottom so you don't have to jump up, and then just some more outlining. So this part here, we're placing one of those 26-degree roofs like that to sort of create that cross there, and then a beam across like that. It was sort of the only way I could cover up this little section, because they haven't added the ability to flip like the building things upside down or anything like that, so it's kind of hard to do little areas like that. But that's what you want to do, again, just like that. Again, more patterns. So here for stability, place 4 of those stone structure beam things going across. And then here we're making a little shelter going outside of the doorway. Now you don't have to build this because we do end up destroying it again, like I said. So it's up to you if you want that there or not. I thought it was cool at the time, but then I thought it was a bit too cluttered. And then this is where we're placing the guardrail that goes up the stairs. So back up onto the second floor. Place these half walls going all the way around those full ones, just like this. And then after that, I decided to place another little roof shelter thing going across the top of this. And then we just go around doing more outlining with the beams on the corners. Now in the second story, destroy these two walls and place the door. This is going to act as a window with shutters that you can actually open and close. This comes in like a nice little feature, comes in pretty handy. So you can open those up and you have a working, window shutter, I guess. Destroy that half wall, place the full one, and then you're going to place half walls going all the way around the top there. And now we're placing full planks going around the top. Okay, so again, that little roof that's just magically appeared there, don't worry about that. Do not build that. We destroy that. another thing we're going to destroy. Instead, we're just finishing off these walls going around here, and then we're going to focus on this roof. This roof, you're not going to destroy. So follow what I'm doing here. We're placing these 45-degree angled roofs going across the top, and then those are going to be connected with that like roof top piece you'll see in a minute. So that's the rooftop piece that I'm thinking of. And then from here, I just had to poke out a little bit so I could actually reach these. But get those 45-degree wood walls, place them along the edges, and then get one of those crosses and place it in the middle, and it should line up quite nicely. And then fill that in with wood walls. So here is where I realized I messed up. It wasn't as tall as I wanted it to be, so we end up destroying this whole roof, and we're just bringing it up another layer. I know, that bit was confusing, right? It's not too confusing. We're just placing these wood walls going around again to line up with the other side, and then just carry on making the roof. And again, just like we did on the other side, you get these 45-degree wood bits and place it on the edge with a cross in the middle, and then follow the roof across and place that center roof piece going along the middle. So now's the time I actually realized you could fly. I thought you could just sort of go in creative mode, but you can apparently fly when you press Z, so that's pretty cool. I hope you guys don't mind that I am flying around in this now. It makes it a whole lot easier. I mean, my channel is just pretty much just gonna be a building channel. I don't plan to do like a let's play or anything. I mean, I could do, it would be pretty cool, like funny moments. But yeah, so this is the windows. Place the beams around the windows, and then a beam in the middle, and 2 vertical beams in the top half and the second half. Gives it a nice rustic window look. And then just these 26-degree roofs around the sides, and then place beams on the edges as like the outline to follow it down. And then we're gonna do this on the other side of this little roof bit, but this is a little bit tricky. So you place one which connects pretty free, and then the other one you've got to hold shift and place it so it lines up, because it didn't want to snap in place. Same thing on the other side, and then place another beam that lines up with the roof there. Again, just more beams, and then this is where I realized it looked a bit cluttered, so I ended up destroying that shelter piece, because it's already a shelter going across. So I thought, that looks ugly, I'll remove that. And that's pretty much it, really. That's the build finished. The rest is up to you to decorate. So you'll see in a minute. This is it. This is the whole build. The interior, exterior. You know, use your imagination, use your inspiration, and that's it. Pretty cool build. Again, thanks for all the subs. You guys are awesome. I didn't expect these videos to get in all these thousands of views, so stick around, more builds to come. Thanks for watching.